Welcome into episode 137 of About the Cards podcast live tonight on YouTube. As always, with the host Stefan Loeffler at Junk Wax Twins.
Oh, hi.
Ben Wilson at our Trading Cards, and I'm Tim Scheffler at Big Shep 79. We are a podcast by collectors for collectors, hoping to bring you a smart, insightful podcast discussing trading card collecting. We are live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook Live. I think Facebook
10 Central.
10 Central. We should be back on Facebook now. Follow us on Twitter about the cards. We're available as a podcast everywhere. If you check out our Twitter page, we did the link tree, so you can find a bunch of awesome ways to follow us there. Check out the website about the cards.wordpress.com. And Underdog Collectibles, our buddies over there. Remember, they are a shop for collectors, run by collectors. You can join them live on YouTube and Facebook every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for live card breaks. They offer a wide variety of break options that won't break the bank. Remember, always bet on the underdog. And we have a very special guest live from Vegas. It's not Vegas Dave. No. It's Brian Murphy at Real Murph Dog 916. Somebody that I've known for quite some time, like long time, like so long ago that like the Kings were like still like really terrible, like real terrible. And they wore these colors, I believe, then. So it's been a long time. What's up, Murph?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
So, Murph, just to give you a little background, all of a sudden one day Murph starts, messaging me about cards and I didn't know you did this. And I was like, dude, you followed me on Twitter for a while. Okay. So we start chatting about cards, and then it's becomes this romantic affair where we're getting he's sliding into the DMs nightly and the text. No, I love it. And we start talking about cards, and I love his enthusiasm and talking about cards with him, and so I was like, dude, this is perfect. This is I wanted to have you come on the show. It took some coaxing. He's on, but it was hey, he's coming back into the hobby after not collecting since when? When was the last time you collected cards?
Oh man, dude, I was trying to look at some of the old cards that I had, try to go back, because when I knew this was a thing again, I started going through all my buckets and stuff like that, and I didn't pinpoint when the last cards I started collecting. I just know that when the market, I'm not like you guys. I envy you guys because you guys collect sets and stuff like that. I was collecting players. I was collecting the Jordans. I was collecting, as a kid, the Canseco's because I was a huge Canseco fan, A's players. I didn't collect sets. And I know my dad did when he was young, but that's another story. He sold all his cards back when he was a teenager because back then he sold them for gas money because he didn't have all the money in the world. And the cards that he would have had today that he would have passed on to me is just unreal. I don't even want to get into it because I don't want to think about the cards he told me he had to sell for gas money for $30. And back then, $30 is get you a long way, and probably took my mom out on dates and stuff. So I guess if he didn't do that, I wouldn't be here. But I don't know, man. It's just I stopped, and I hated that I stopped. Like I said, I just stopped when I realized that cards weren't. I used it as a kid as I wanted to collect, but I felt like when I had all the cards that I wanted with the Jordans and stuff, that I just stopped. And I wish I didn't stop, and it didn't get me until this whole phenomenon started up again, where it became a stock and it became a fantasy again, to collect these players. And I'm glad I'm back into it. I didn't want to say it's romantic with you and I you helping me get back into it.
No, it's been fun, man.
He's got a bunch of cuddle buddies all over the
all over the United States.
He's acting like I'm sliding in his DMs. I'm not even going to show you the stuff that he sends me. It's not even triple X type stuff. It's gross.
It's awesome. No, but I love it because he's come back in, and then he hops in you hop in the craziest time, things we haven't seen before. We were talking about on the show when the pandemic hit. Oh yeah, it's going to go backwards. Yeah. Now it's going to be an awesome time to buy, and it completely went the opposite way. So tell us a bit. Yeah, so you said you collected Canseco and Jordan back in the day.
So when I was, I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go. Yeah.
So when I was a kid, my dad was he drafted out of high school for Bella Vista High School by the Phillies. So I wanted to be a baseball player. I wanted to collect cards. I wanted to do all that stuff like him. He ended up drinking with his friend and went to a party, and his friend was drinking and drove and flipped the car, and all the muscles of his legs tore. So it was between that and playing sports and knowing that I wanted to play sports and him telling me the stories about basically selling his cards for nothing, it always made me appreciate cards and collecting. So I never got rid of all my stuff. I always collected knowing that, hey, someday if I have a kid, I'll pass it down to them. So I only did three things as a kid. I would play sports, I played Nintendo, and I would hop on my Huffy and I'd write down. And I think you might have known Shep. I'm not sure. His name was Cowboy. He had his own shop in Folsom, where I was born and raised. And I would go there every single day. I would ride my bike, and I remember it to this day. I would always look up in the top left, and I would always see, which to me is the Messiah, is the 1986 Fleer box up there. And I knew that was the Michael Jordan rookie, even though he was an 84. But I wanted that pack. And even back then, I don't even know what year it was. Yeah. Cowboy was selling it for like 50, 70, whatever a pack. And I'm sitting there watching these people ahead of me just come up, grab one, open it up. Never saw anybody open up a Jordan there. But basically, that's all I did is as a kid. I grew up and I traded cards with friends. I collected just the cards that I wanted to collect, which was Jordan, Canseco, A's, McGuire. I had McGuire's. I loved back then, even as a kid, to collect the ones that had rare, problems with them, like the McGuire 87 tops with that little white kind of triangle in the bottom right corner of his record breaker home run thing. Stuff like that, little niches like that I wanted to collect. I thought that was going to be worth money. I'd buy Beckett books and look them up and see how much these cards are worth. And then it just kind of like stopped for me, not because I didn't love sports and all that kind of stuff anymore. It just stopped because I felt like it was becoming a cardboard because I didn't collect sets. And I hate myself for that, but.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah. So we had to have met. I mean, like probably like junior high in sports, but yeah, I lived like right around the corner from Coach's Corner in Cowboy, and I used to hang up there. I went as Halloween one year as Cowboy, and my buddy Tim Smith. I don't know if you remember him. He went as Chris Stopp, and went around, and that's who we were at Halloween. I think for sixth grade. So that was a great place and a great shop, and so that's awesome. I remember going and they had 82. Tops packs, and the big thing was like, oh, can you pull the Ripken free, that card, and those packs were like $20 then. It was like, I'm not buying that, but I can never afford that. Give me some 91 Fleer. No, but so it's been, so what's it been like? You come back, right, and then all of a sudden, like every couple of days, like you've been big into basketball, right? So we were talking about like Ja and Zion, and it seems like every day, like those guys, the prices on those guys just kept going up and up and up. And then, like, they weren't even playing at that point.
So, like you were saying, I followed you on Twitter, but when I was on Twitter, I would be following just like people, and I would just like swipe up real fast. So I didn't know that you honestly had like a show. I didn't know. I missed the whole Gary Vee thing. I missed everything. I missed everything about, hey, you need to buy Luka 2018 Prisms for $17, $20, $30 and all that. I missed it all. So coming from California, my wife took a huge opportunity here in Vegas, life-changing. The promotion that she's always wanted in Sacramento was never given. So, I would be a pretty crappy husband if I said, no, I don't want to go. I want to stay in California. So we moved to Vegas. And as I'm moving to Vegas, I still had no clue. I had no clue. All of a sudden, I get here in Vegas and I see Tim, and I'm watching Twitter, and I'm sitting like, I come across, he's got a podcast, and I'm watching it. And then I see the Gary Vee thing, and I'm starting to see this thing where like cards are back, and not just back, like you're saying, they're ridiculous. Like boxes that are normally $20 in retail are going for 140. And then I stupidly got jumped right in with the amount of money that I had, because I got paid out for everything from leaving my job to come move here and not having a job right away. But I was like, hey, I'll pick and choose my spots. And I'm sitting here thinking like, man, Mosaic basketball at the time was like $150. And I'm like, $150 for like, what am I doing? So I bought one, hit like a couple Jaws and stuff like that. And I'm seeing Jaws like, why is this card going for more than this vintage? And it didn't hit me like, okay, well, whatever. Then, I didn't want to flip it yet because I thought Jaws was going to go up. So I started off very slow to the point where, or behind to the point where I was like, I had a small budget that I had to keep, and I can't play with some of these people today. I can't. So I had to figure out something. I hit up Shep. I'm like, hey, what do I do here, man? Like, how am I going to get into this? How am I going to catch up to the sense of get Luka cards? Because that's who I love, as I love Luka. I believe in Luka. That's who I am investing in, because like you're saying, maybe in 5 years, this will all be done. So I'm not really focusing too much on current players unless it's somebody I think I can buy now and flip, which I have been doing. And that's how I've been surviving, is I'm flipping cards. I'm flipping WWF Stone Cold Steve Austin shirts that are selling for $150
Tell
right
that
now.
story. Tell that story, man.
I have a lot of time on my hands, right? So I'm sitting here and I have nothing to do. Like, I have no job. I'm in the mecca of unemployment here in Vegas, okay? I'm not Vegas Dave, all right? I don't have a 5.2 Mickey Mantle for my dad because he sold it for gas money, like I said. So I have nothing. So I got what I have from my stock, which are a lot of Jordan cards, stuff I want to keep for my own. I don't want to sell. And raw, come on, you got to get graded to really. So I'm sitting there and I'm on YouTube and I'm just going down a rabbit hole, and I'm watching this guy who's literally, he goes to garage sales and he's just taking everybody's video games for cheap and flipping them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I'm starting to think to myself, like, and do I want to keep a Dreamcast that I played, a game that I played maybe 3 times? And I just looked it up. And it's called Power Stone 2, and I'm seeing it's selling for $225 on eBay. And I'm like, okay, do I want to keep a Power Stone game that I'm not going to play anymore, or do I want to sell that and flip it and buy a Luca card that, even if this thing ends in 5 years, it's something that maybe I can keep, and it might, you know, the hobby might just blow up again. And I have Luca, who I think, you know, is going to be a Hall of Famer. So that's who I'm investing in, is Hall of Famers. So I went on and I started looking up at Stone Cold shirts, because I'm like, WWF, it's vintage. I know vintage shirts comes on because another guy goes and he buys people's vintage shirts. And I'm like, WWF, Stone Cold, who doesn't like Stone Cold? I put it up literally in 10 minutes. I had like 50 views and guys trying to lowball me like cruet. And I'm like, oh my God, did I price this too low? So then I put it up for $150, and one guy tried to offer me $120. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to wait. And just boom, he buys it after I send him a message that I won the wait. So I 150 there. Then I'm selling video games. I'm selling kids. Make sure they're not here. I'm selling kids toys, but I'm giving them some of the money back now. So I'm going through my garage, and I'm literally garage selling my garage on stuff that it's been sitting there for years, and selling them and flipping them. And that's how I'm surviving in what is called this hobby now. And you know, I can't play with some of these guys, and it sucks. But if I want to get certain cards, I'm going to have to give up something. And I'm trying to do it in a smart way. And my wife might not understand, hey, can I borrow a couple $100 to buy a Luca card for a piece of cardboard? So I'm trying to do it, you know, secretly, kind of fun.
The thing is I love it because, one, not a lot of people can play in that space where those cards are right now, right?
Yeah.
It has that kind of disposable income to just go spend thousands of dollars on cards. And I think you're taking stuff that you have that you can turn around and go buy other stuff, and buying and flipping you kind of found a way, which is really, you know, it's really good. And there's tons of stuff out there to find. And like, I have a feeling too, is that
Pokemon, exactly.
Yeah, you'll be able to go back and get some of that Lucas stuff maybe a little bit later. But I like the fact, and you said you've also been going back and getting some vintage stuff. You've been picking up some Jordan stuff because I've always known you like as a Jordan guy, you know, and so I think that's super cool. Yeah.
So there's a lot of Jordan cards that I didn't get a chance to get my hands on, and it was like the 88 Fleers and stuff like that, not just the rookie, which the 86, which is, you know, my main card that I hope someday I will own. I wish I had $30,000 in 2019, because in 2019, if we had $30,000, we could have bought a PSA 10 Michael Jordan Fleer 86 that just sold for about $740,000 at, you know, 2 of them at an auction. But, you know, maybe someday. But yeah, I mean, literally I'm going with I have to buy cards. I'm going on Mercari a lot, and I find on Mercari that people are posting cards for 3 to 4 months ago that they're just neglecting. And I'll go and I'll watch videos. I'll go on apps. I read and I watch videos all day, and I see what cards are trending, what people are looking for. And I will go on Mercari, because a lot of times eBay, it's already either jumped up. People are on eBay more than I feel like they're on Mercari. Or I forgot, Shep, that other one you were telling me about. But there are cards out there that people I feel like are neglecting. So recently I just bought Calvin Johnson's rookie card about a month ago, because I knew that he's going to be a Hall of Fame. I just had a feeling him, you know, look at this class that just came out. So I went on there, and someone had the Topps Chrome 2007 for $20. And now I have it up for $99 right now on eBay. And I just got a hit where a guy wants to offer me $89, and I haven't accepted it yet. But just right there, $70. And that sounds, you know, to me, it sounds like a lot. There's guys out there who were buying the LeBrons for $300, and they're already up to, you know, what they're up to, and $700, and now they can sell these things for $40,000. And I'm watching these guys in these videos that they're flipping cards like that, and I have a part of jealousy, but then I'm like, I have to stay where I am at right now, and that is focusing on what my path is finding players that, with this Kobe doc that's coming out, I'm looking at Paul Gasol rookies right now, and European players, because these other countries now are now getting into like the hobby, and they didn't have their hands on the cards that we had. We had the luxury in America to get more, you know, cards. So now I'm starting to see like Tony Parkers and Manu Ginobili's and guys that were around the Kobe era when he won the championships, and Shaq's. Look what Shaq's cards are doing right now, because, you know, vintage is out hitting, and people are knowing that Kobe's doc is coming out. And you guys know, like, anytime a doc comes out, everybody cards goes up. When the Jordan doc came out, Steve Kerr's card came up. So what does that mean? Derek Fisher? Do I go get some Derek Fisher cards? So I'm going and finding cards that I'm sniping now that I can triple maybe 4 times. That doesn't sound like a lot to the big time ballers out there, but to me, it's enough to then put towards a card that I want in my PC, which is a Jordan, Luka. I already have like the Montana and Jerry Rice rookie cards and stuff like who I loved as a kid. So yeah, I have to do what I have to do. And it's a fantasy sport to me. Why am I paying $50 to my brother-in-law to lose in fantasy, football every year because I get the 12th pick? Why don't I put that $50 towards a card or put it to a couple cards that triple in value and I hurry up and flip them? So I'm flipping modern players and keeping Luka's and, any kind of Jordan card or any kind of rarity card that I can't get my hands on. So in the past, so.
I like it. It's you just gave all of your secrets away, so now Macari is going to blow up tomorrow. And
I'm not lying to you. I don't care. I want. But see, that's the
stock.
thing. Yeah, but that's what I want. It's out there. Like there are sites out there where people like neglecting these cards for months, and they're not realizing that the value of these cards are fluctuating, they're declining, whatever. And I know, like from what you told me, Shep, and I realized. You buy baseball when it's in the off season. You buy basketball when it's in the off season. And at first, I jumped right in and I was buying cases of 2018, 19. I had to have Luka, and I got lucky. There's a lot of times I did. I opened them up and I got Luka rookies, and I'm like, okay. So I got lucky a lot of times, but then I didn't realize like why am I buying cases of cards hoping to get a player that I just could have took that $140 and bought that card. So it took me a minute because I felt like I was so far behind that I had to jump right in. And I'm learning like more and more now where like my strategic path is focus on low cards that I can hopefully triple up, double up, and make that money and either buy a card that I don't have or focus on again other cards that people are just forgetting about. So
we have a very important question. You said you collected McGuire's, you're an A's fan, and so 85 McGuire or 87 McGuire, which one's his rookie card?
Isn't that Topps 87? Isn't it that one with the green with his back to it?
The green, and then the 85 is the USA card.
Yeah, it's USA. Yeah, so I mean,
so which one's the rookie? You have to. They're
God damn.
You got to pick.
Okay,
Which do you believe is the rookie card?
People want him in his major league jersey, correct? They don't believe in Prism college basketball cards and all that stuff. So I would say the USA jersey just because I like the USA one, but they're going to say 87 because he's in his major league jersey.
We had Dr. James Beckett, the man that wrote the magazine, on the show, and he said 85.
85.
Is the rookie card.
Yeah.
By the way, though, Ben here has like about 580. He's got, I think, more 87 McGuire tops than McGuire has home runs.
Nice.
I'm almost to 792. I've got a lot coming to put me in the 760s.
I actually have one here for you.
I just gotta say, I mean, both cards to me though are beautiful, and don't get me wrong.
I love the USA one.
That's why Blake Jamison's Topps Project 2020 was the perfect Mark McGuire card because it made everybody happy.
Yeah,
it's the perfect
both
card.
Worlds. Yeah.
I just wish they would have put 70 on his as the jersey number for all the home runs he hit. That would have just been kind of cool. But
I feel like people. Go ahead. Sorry.
We were talking with our good buddy Dan at Korean Cardboard. He had asked a question on Twitter a while back about whether the 84 Donruss Mattingly was more influential in the hobby during the junk wax era than the 89 Upper Deck Griffey was. And it's like, by the time that 89 Griffey had come along, the junk wax era was already hot and heavy, right? And that 85 McGuire Olympic card, regardless of, that Olympic card was the iconic card of 85. And Goodman, Sagan, and Eric Davis and Clemens and Puckett, there were a lot in 85, which 83 through 87 just had a ridiculous group of stars coming into the league. And, I was talking with my dad right before the show, and it's like 88 through 90 just couldn't sustain. I mean, you had Griffey and you had Bagwell and Thomas. There just weren't enough names, and we were already in that bubble, and it was already starting to burst around 1990. We just didn't know it until 93, 94 when it all of a sudden, so many of us from 1976 to 1982 had come of age and were finding girls and getting into high school, and we moved on. And The 87 is the true rookie, but the 85 is definitely more desirable because it meant so much more during that era. And I don't fault anybody for thinking 85, but the price guide. Beckett is what decided it was a rookie card, not Topps.
But real quick, my favorite thing about that is that it's card 401. And so remember, that was the time where Topps gave all of the hundreds superstar cards. Oddibe McDowell was card number 400. They thought that he was going to be the big star off that USA team, and it was not him. And the fact that Will Clark was not on that team is a travesty. And also, too, even Rafael Palmeiro, because he was in call. What was going on with that USA team? Because there were some guys on there that were like.
Somebody the other day listed a McGuire, 85 McGuire, card number 403. So I have the rare number 403 version coming in the mail. And if it has 401 on the back, I send it back, right?
Yeah. So Murph, where do you see yourself in the hobby in 5 years?
Well, I mean, there's so much back and forth, right? There's some who think that, it's going to crash. There's some that's going to, longevity of collecting cards and getting your money as much as you can right now is going to, just disappear in the next couple of years. Me personally, I loved being in this hobby. It's given me something to do again. It's lit that fire again because I loved it as a kid. I brings back so many memories. I connect with some of you guys. It's funny that I go on Twitter now and I just post something simple, and I got people who are now going into their garages and they're finding cards that they didn't know. Some guy that I know, John, on Twitter, went into his garage and he found a Kobe Bryant rookie, and if he gets it graded, it's $2,500 right now, and stuff like that. So in 5 years, for me personally, I hope that I will continue. Maybe I'll dab like what you guys are doing. I go back and get sets from my dad's era, and maybe someday I can surprise my dad and get some cards that possibly he sold. Luka and Jordan are the only focus points that I'm on right now, and I hope in 5 years that I will continue just to collect and get the cards that I never had as a kid, and continue to build on Luka because I'm a big believer on him being a Hall of Famer, winning a couple titles, his cards, and this thing disappears and then comes back again like it did for, us now. Then I'll pass him on to my son, and then he has something, because like you showed up earlier, Stephen, with the Pokemon cards. He had a Pokemon cards from 2016. He had some really nice ones that he was willing. He put up his own. He took them, and he's big into Lego Star Wars, and he flipped them. And I taught him that, collect your cards and sell them, flip them if you want, but hang on to the cards you want. So he has a couple Pokemon cards, and he loves Star Wars and that kind of stuff. So I will continue in 5 years just to maybe start collecting sets and focus just on the players that I want to focus on.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick, when you talk about Luka, when the Kings got so lucky to get the number 2 pick and they took Bagley, who you seem to just love. You love that he doesn't want to pass or play defense. I think that's awesome. But who are you wanting the Kings to pick at that point?
Well, it's obviously Luka. I mean,
I know retrospect, yeah, it's Luka. I mean, but didn't Bagley feel like?
Well, when it was coming up and the draft was coming up, and I knew the Kings were going to get at least the top 5. I started doing I started hearing about this Luka guy, and I kind of knew about him, and I was like, 16-year-old going back and watching his film and European tapes and watching this guy, and I mean, I know like a lot of people downgrade European and these kids playing at 16 and 17, but these guys that European leagues are real basketball. So when I'm seeing this guy, the 16-year-old kid, even at that age, going and just ripping up these, men in their prime, and he had something special. And then when he just like the connections that he had, like the connections with Vlade and all this kind of stuff, I'm thinking like, how do you not get and draft this guy? How do you pass up this guy? So then of course you knew his European coach, goes and starts coaching the Suns. And I'm thinking, oh God, he's going to take him. There's no way he's going to take Ayton, but Ayton was the number 1 pick then. So they take Ayton, and of course I'm thinking like Kings have to take him, and then they pass him.
They go Kongs,
and I'm sitting there thinking like, please do not say Marvin Bagley, because it started coming up Marvin Bagley, and I was like, do not draft this guy. I just and then they didn't want to get another ball handler because we had Fox, and then you hear the name Marvin Bagley, and then I'm just watching, then Trae Young, and then I'm just thinking like Luka falls to Mavericks, and I'm like, I was pissed, to be honest. So
I love, what though, is it all makes up with Halliburton falling.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
he's awesome. So okay, Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say, even I love Halliburton, and who knows if we would have got him if they would have drafted Luka, because they probably would have won a couple more games than they have, and Halliburton.
In the irony that they want a second ball handler with Fox in Luka, but what is Halliburton?
Thank you.
And it's
Exactly.
coming out great.
Yeah. Yes.
Good for the Kings, right?
Yes.
I remember. You remember when they used to have the draft parties at Arco when the Kings were terrible?
Yeah,
So I was at the '94 draft, and I was down low because my dad's company had like season tickets that year. So we were sitting on the actual like floor of the arena, and they were coming up, and they had the 7th pick, and I go, if they take Bobby Hurley, I'm gonna lose it. They need to take Vin Baker. I was like, Vin Baker's the guy. I was in junior high. Jared Reynolds like walks right by. He announces Vin Baker. I stand up and just start booing and saying how stupid Jerry is, and like yelling and I'm like, why? And then so years later, I get to meet Jerry and I get to ask him. I'm like, hey, like, dude, I told him the story. He starts laughing. He goes, why weren't you working for us back then? I said, because I was like 13 years old, and I was calling into the radio shows, and you guys didn't know I existed.
Yeah.
I could have made the Kings amazing. No, but it's just the Kings thing, right? We just don't take the right guy. Like Purvis Ellison. Oh yeah, let's take him.
Yeah.
He looks good. Let's pass on Karl Malone and take Joe Klein, because who doesn't want a 7-foot wide dude from Arkansas?
Yeah.
Like,
There's a shopping list of players that we passed up on.
We're like the New York Jets of drafting. So I know what card you would own, because you said it would be the '86 Jordan Fleer, but one you currently own, like that you like the house is burning down and it's save the firstborn or save this card. What card is that going to be? You can only own it's only the only card you'll ever own ever again.
So I ended up scoring a couple months ago. I got a pretty good raw that I just got it in, of all places, I got it from Finland. I got an 87 Fleer Jordan. And I love that card. I love just the looks of the old cards. And I got it before it really started hitting this vintage. That, and then I got the Concourse Select autographed Luka from a guy. And, I made sure that he had the right, certification and stuff like that, because I was nervous about doing it. And at the time, I only got it for $275, and now that card alone is up in pretty. So the way I was looking at it real quick, because I remember talking to you about it, is Select over Prism. I don't know how you guys feel. So when you start looking at the pop, and this weird stat came to me where I was watching this video, and this guy said something like the most basketball cards that are graded, of course, is the 86 Fleer, because it's been around for how many years? And second is already the 2019 class. And how ridiculous that is, that so much pop on the Zions and Jaws and all these kind of things. And it's just crazy to me. But you don't hear too much about Select too much. And so when I was talking to Shep, he kept offering me, hey, do you want this Luka? I'll sell you this Luka. And, he was selling to me at a fair price. And I'm like, man, as much as I want Prism Luka, because to me that is the rookie card that everybody is after, I was like, I kind of like what Select is doing, where it wasn't a retail store brand. It was a hobby store brand. I like the way they look, and I wanted to be different. I'm like, everybody's got a Luka. I know not everybody has a Luka 10, but if you look at the pop, there's a lot of Luka 10 Prisms out there, and they went from $2,000 to about $1,500 now. And I don't see too many people grading Selects, so I went different, and I ended up getting 2 Selects for the price of what I would have got for 1 Prism. So
I think it's great, because I've talked about this. If you look, we've talked about Prism and the parallels. Go back 5 years, they had like 5 or 6 parallels. Now they're up to like 48 or 50 or whatever it is now, plus all the retail versions. Select is hobby only. I think Murph is on to something here, guys. And to go out and do that, he's like, hey, I want to collect this guy, but I can't get that card everybody wants. Watch Murph's face when I say this. So I built a set of 1819 Prism, and I bought 2 for under $40. How's that make you feel?
I know.
Yeah, see,
I missed it.
I wanted to see the face. No, so anyway, it's great. Let's get into the show. You're going to hang out with us?
Yeah, please. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do this. All right, so the week that was last week's releases, Topps Living Week 152. We had card 385, Dontrelle Willis, pitcher, Florida Marlins. So just over 2,200. And card 386, Joe Adell, rookie outfielder, Los Angeles Angels, a little over 5,500. So it was a great week. I think it was an awesome week because, one, you get the veteran that was a popular player that maybe not had the career we all expected, and then a young guy who didn't have a great season last year, but I think that he, just like reeling scouting, the guy could be good. I just think that it was a weird year last year, and everybody's kind of down on him. I think he's not a guy to sleep on. I think he gets in that lineup, and you got somebody like Trout and Rendon, and you guys get to play together. We will see what happens. So
Well, and the interesting one, at least for Adele, was somewhere in the long feed alliance that I'm not going to go back to. He just barely undersold one of the WWE living cards
Steve
from
Austin.
last week. Steve Austin? Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Austin, what I call him
wanted
last
to say
week.
him, but I didn't want to look stupid.
Yes, Cold Stone, Steve Austin, as I called him last week, I think.
Indeed. And it's kind of interesting. Which would you rather have?
Joe Adele, but that's just because I like baseball over more over wrestling.
Sure.
But that I think that wrestling set is going to be one we're going to look back and go, I think we missed something there.
Well,
I really do.
Pop's Living Stat had I think the poll is still going live on Twitter about which one you'd rather have now and which one you'd rather have a few years into the future. And I definitely think if you're just comparing those two cards, the Steve Austin is going to be more desirable in the future because it's card number one. And you know, Joe Adele, we don't know what his career is going to look like. He very well could fizzle out. He's going to be given every opportunity to try to get Trout, you know, a World Series ring. But right now, yeah, you know, Adele's not been that impressive at the major league level. Wish the kid nothing but the best, just not when he's playing the A's. But, you know, and this week's, I think the Miz and I think it's like a husband and wife duo for cards 3 and 4, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of neat.
Yeah,
they're
that's
just
kind of cool.
For me, they're just too cartoony. They look too much like the soccer cards and not enough like
No, the soccer cards almost look like the gallery artists are doing the soccer cards. Like, that junior art class, man, we should get those kids back. Get those 7th graders to draw this stuff, man. No, so it's great. And then we had 2021 Panini NBA Hoops dropped last week as well. And so I was talking to some guys today. So you have LaMelo Ball in his rookie last week of like 175. And at the same time, the Luka Hoops rookie was selling in the neighborhood of like 65 to like 85, give or take, right? And these are just raw cards. Well, I saw that the LaMelo is down to about $90 to $100. Guys were like, huh? Like, is he still twice as good as Luka? Like, look at what Luka's doing right now. So, like, I was like talking to the guys at the shop, and like, with LaMelo Ball, Prism's going to be like $5,000, you know, 500 right out of the gate. You know, so I think everybody just you know, let's press the brakes a little bit and remember, and there's a lot of it going around. There's going to be plenty of it to get. You're going to probably have to pay a little bit if you want to open some wax, the retail. But if you find some retail, I would say open it. No, sell it. I would sell it and then just wait 3 years and go back and rebuy it after all these guys are forgotten. Hot off the press is this week's new releases. Topps Living Week 153. We have card 387, Alec Baum, rookie third baseman, Philadelphia Phillies, former Wichita State Shocker. Love that. And card 388, local boy to us, Dustin Pedroia, just retired second baseman of the Boston Red Sox from Woodland, California, which isn't too far away. Again, you could definitely tell the two different artists in here, but I think both these cards look great. Pedroia is definitely done by Sato, for sure. And Jared Kelly did Baum. But again, great week because you have a guy that was an MVP, that was a multi-time All-Star that just retired, that was trying to come back but couldn't. He said he'd much rather spend time with his kids and being able to walk than try to play through all the pain and injuries. So good to see he had a great career. And the funny story about him, Poppy did not know his name was Dustin. He thought it was Pee-wee because that's all he called him was Pee-wee. He did not know his name was Dustin. And this is after they won World Series together and they played next to each other for, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that.
Yeah. So I thought that was hilarious. But no, it's a good week. This is a week we want a rookie and then some kind of a vet, some kind of a Hall of Famer, some kind of retired star that gets it going. So like, I love that we're back to this. I think it'll be a good week. So, and let's get into my favorite 2020 Topps Series 1 baseball drop.
2020 Topps?
2021 Topps Series 1 baseball, the 70th release of the flagship product. 2 versions available if you're at your hobby store. You have a jumbo, which is going to run you around $250 a box, which I saw my local LCS for $220, so it's not a bad deal. 10 packs per box, 46 cards per pack. You're going to autograph 2 mint indoor manufactured relics, 5 gold foil parallels, 2 silver packs, and 1 box topper that's going to have a 1951 Major League All-Star, which they look like this. They kind of look like a bookmark. They're pretty interesting cards. I like when they have box toppers. That's cool. And then a hobby box can run your 150. I've seen it around 120. So if you find it there, that's a pretty decent price. 24 packs per box.
Was 129, 125, somewhere in there.
24 packs a box, 14 cards per pack, 1 autographed memorabilia or relic card per box, 1 home run challenge, 2 rainbow foil parallels, and 1 silver pack. Again, love how the silver packs are included in this. You don't have to worry about getting scammed and not getting your packs, or so they're in the box, which is amazing. It's a 330 card base set, down from the normal 350. They have the 86 inserts, which are just glorious. I love them. And that's what those silver packs are for. They're the silver parallels. And then the rookie crop features a lot of players that debuted in a shortened 2020 season. Yeah, Steph has some cards there. Some of the key rookies. Yeah. Some of the key rookies you have. People are looking for Dalton Varsho, Bobby Dahlbeck, who Steph talked about a couple of weeks ago. Joe Adell, Tyreek Skubal from the Tigers, Nate Pearson, Bo Burrows, Brady Singer, who I like, Evan White, Ryan Mountcastle, Christian Pache, Nick Madrigal, who's from Sacramento. Love that. You have the rookie cup of a couple guys like Luis Robert. You have Ian Anderson from the Braves. You have Alec Baum in there. Dylan Carlson, who's from Sacramento as well. He's from Elk Grove. Yeah, a bunch of Sacktown love. Casey Mai is a former number 1 overall pick. Those guys are all in there. And then what I noticed about the checklist, they're coming back. So as I was talking to you guys, we were talking about how they used to be, all the stars were in the hundreds. So this year, card number 100, Christian Yelich. Solid. Nice. MVP, right? Card 200, Jacob deGrom, Cy Young winner. Card 300 is Jordan. Card 50 is Cody Bellinger. Card 150 is Shohei. And card 250 is Bryce Harper. Tatis leads off as card 1, and then the bookends with Soto at 330. And then you have Trout. He got card number 27. I think that's pretty cool.
Jersey number. Nice.
Yeah. Let's see, where's 27? So that was pretty cool. The rainbow foils are 1 in every 10 packs. I can tell you, I opened a case of jumbo last night. I pulled 7 gold parallels out of 2021. So those used to be 1 a pack. And so I would have had 70 in the old days. I pulled 7. There was a special Rip Party parallels.
You end up with me 1 hobby box, 1 gold. Self-serving. There
were special Rip packs, the parallels. They were numbered to 10, and they're going to be part of the promotion. So I don't know how the breakers got that, because I did not watch the Rip Party. We're going to talk about that later. And there's 70 years of Topps, highlights 7 different decades of flagship design with different players, which awesome. It ties into what we've been doing with our Topps Madness. Mm-hmm. It has a checklist of 70 of current former players, and some cards will have autographed versions. There's going to be retail 10s this year, and they were on sale on Topps.com earlier today for $25, and they'll be out in the retail stores. They're going to include 1 exclusive Chrome 70 years of Topps insert done on refractor stock. There's History of Topps, uses 10 cards to define moments in the company's history. There's the Top Platinum Player Die Cuts, which feature some of the biggest names that appear in the card ever in Topps, and those are cool. They're die cutted like a little 70. And then there's going to be there's 25 in Series 1 and 2, and the last 20 will be in Update. Home Run Challenge is back. They have iconic patches. What
happened to catch? Who was on the tins, or it was just 1 athlete?
It was just 1 that they showed, and it was Acuna. The last year they had 4. They have these, so they're like rookie cards, and they're like those patches, like they had the box toppers a year or 2 ago of the actual last year of the actual card. So those are back with the iconic rookie cards, which is pretty cool. They have the cap, the spring training caps, and these guys have been super popular. These relics, and they have Major League Material, which offers a bunch of different players.
Suppose I answered my own question. It looks like Acuna, Trout, Judge. Who's the
Javi Baez? Javi Baez.
Belly,
Cody Bellinger.
Harper, and back to the front.
And then also too is the 86 Topps Love autographs and mem cards in there. So pretty cool. It was a fun break. There's a lot to it, and good lord, it's been selling like crazy. And the Topps website had hobby boxes for $80, and I heard they sold out pretty quick, and the site went down at some point. And we're going to talk more into depth about this later in the show. But that's a good preview. And Steph, you opened a box?
I did. I got 2 hits, 1 gold, 2 silver, my home run challenge.
So you pulled an autograph out of your silver pack?
I did.
Nice. And an autograph out of your hobby box. That's very rare because normally
Santiago Espinal, Blue Jays, and then Anderson Tejada, number 2, 150 for the Rangers.
Nice.
Probably shipped that over to Irving, which was weird because in my silver pack, the card before the auto was him again.
Yeah, the silver packs, the collation's like identical. So like I pulled like 3 Tony Gwynn's, but it was okay because in his pack I want to say it was Mountcastle or somebody else like that was was in there. So, and then also coming out today we have 2020 Donruss Optic Football, $700 a box, 20 packs per box, 4 cards per pack. Whopping 80 cards for $700. Someone do the math there. 1 autograph, 4 inserts, 10 parallels. There's only 19 color parallels available, so that's that's pretty low number for Panini.
They ran out of Crayola crayons. Got it.
You're gonna get 6 rated rookies and 14 rookies in the box. It's a 200 card base set, 100 vets, 50 rookies, 50 rated rookies. Basically, it's the Donruss set dipped in chrome. The rated rookies have on card autographs. They also took the T-1, 2, or 3, 2, 1 from basketball and focused it on quarterbacks. Downtown returns an optic, casting a star player or rookie against a cartoon cityscape. And some go to take the vets from their home team, take a road trip to the Super Bowl cities where they won. So I think they showed Peyton Manning winning in Miami. And they will be a case hit on those. And there's also retail stuff with this as well. And people are like, buying it like crazy. Again, at $700 a box, you're hoping in it that 80 cards. Actually, you have 6 rated rookies, and out of 80 cards, so you're hoping one of those is one of the quarterbacks. So your odds there's 50 rookies. There's some math to be done there. 50 rated rookies. You're going to get 6 in the box, but there's only 80 cards in them. So there's some math to be done, but good luck. I just buy the card instead of spending $700 on the box. That's just me. I don't know.
12% chance.
Yes. And then you'll probably end up getting like, Jake Fromm. Yeah, you're Jake Fromm or, Eason from the Colts.
Hey, Scheffler, what is your outlook? Like, do you like optic cards? Because there's a lot of stuff that I was reading that people are actually liking these optic cards better than the prisms.
Yeah, no, I think they look cool. I think the rated rookie logo helps. So that does help. But again, like at this price point though, it's crazy because what does a base card go for? I mean, what you can spend is a Joe Burrow, is it like 150? Like it's like that. 2 years ago, I bought a Kyler for 15, and I thought that was like $5 too much for an optic. And maybe I was being cheap, but I'm like, it's like a 10, maybe $15, $20 card, maybe. And it's just like, I don't know. Do you guys feel different about it? And the fact that it's 10 times more now, it hurts. It hurts my brain. Like I'm not even looking for it. I don't even want to collect it anymore. I'm selling off all my basketball and football now because it's just the market's there's too much. The demand's too high for these cards. Like might as well sell them because I have a feeling
there's too much money to be made right now.
Yeah, I can go back and buy them in a couple years when they're out of the league, and I can enjoy the card and I look at it like a 1990 Kevin Moss. You remember then when you were an awesome card, and now I use you as a bookmark. That's only if I could read though. So, in the chat, KBO Collection says the Prism design was fugly to me. Yeah, it wasn't great this year. By the way, there was a comment earlier by our buddy Andrew said, rushed through cleaning my kids' bottles to be live tonight. Hopefully he doesn't get sick. Don't put that on us, man. You can watch it on replay, and it'll be out as a podcast tomorrow. We're on forever. We never stop
Watch on your
talking.
phone.
Yeah. Check out Ryan Cracknell's articles on Beckett.com/news for more details on these releases. It was nice to have 2 releases this week, 2 big ones. Last week we only had the one. What's brewing next week's release is 2021 Panini Certified Basketball. That's only going to be a zillion dollars a box. 1920 Upper Deck The Cup. Hockey comes out, and that's their highest end product. Beautiful cards. And then we have 2020 Panini Limited Football. So we have 3 big releases next week.
Now, is that 1920 from last year, or is that 2020, 2021 that you just mistyped?
No, it's 1920. It's always the cup always comes out super duper late. It's their last one because all the stuff's on card. All of it's like game used.
Right.
The cup. As much as I know about, it's like what flawless and transcendent would be for hockey, but actually people want. Let's get into infield chatter, hobby talk section, part of the show. Steph, I need you for this. I need you to produce a little bit here. This came via, I think, Blowout Buzz had it on Insta, and it was sent to me by Cardboard Icons, and I almost pissed myself watching it and listening to it. It was so wonderful.
You could watch on cycle and never, ever, ever get tired of watching it.
Yeah.
1 second here. Boop. Share audio. Boop.
I watched this without the music the first time. The music brings it home.
That's amazing.
So it's a bunch of people running into Walmart with, what is that song from, Ben? What old movie is that from? Like
Chariots of Fire.
Chariots of Fire.
Now, you're watching the video
Mr.
live.
Mom?
Mr. Mom had it during the during the race scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're watching the video and the guy in orange just kind of like pulling up his britches as he's coming in, and it's like, sorry, kid, you're already number 6. Too late.
Yeah. Yesterday they had the Topps rip, or we're going to get some news notes here on 2021 Topps. Topps rip party yesterday. The winner was Mojo Break. They won the coveted platinum box knife or whatever. Our buddies over there, Dan and Doug. I did not get to see any of this. I saw I heard they had players on there opening packs, old packs and stuff. Somebody sent me a clip of Tom Glavine talking about somebody knocking at his door when he was at home with his parents, and they didn't even know he had a baseball card, was asked to sign it. Which is weird,
cool.
Right? Yeah.
McGuire,
I think so.
McGuire opened up his own card and opened up his own, and he signed it, and they're giving it away, I guess.
Oh, there you go, Ben. You need that one.
Yeah,
it was a Cardinals card, right?
Cardinal.
Yeah, it was his Cardinals card. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2000 Topps.
Yeah, it was kind of cool though, because no player on there that opened up their own card got their own player.
Hey Ben, if McGuire goes in the Hall of Fame, if we ever get lucky enough where he was in the Hall of Fame, but he goes in as a Cardinal, would that hurt you?
No,
or would it be okay that he was in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I'd be sad for a couple hours, but I'd be like, he finally got his due. Because for me, I've come around on these. All those steroid users deserve to get in.
Everybody was doing it.
Yeah,
it's one of those things you can't keep part of that era out because they were suspected or because we knew. Yeah. And the Andrew was literally legal at the time.
If that asshole Bud Selig is in there, anybody should be in the Hall of Fame.
Baseball knew. They knew.
They knew. Bud Selig was giving that out like trick or treat, come to Bud. He's here.
And you can argue that the home run race between two of the biggest freaking steroid users with Sosa McGuire brought back baseball because it came off the strike and baseball's crowd, everything. That home run record. I mean, people can argue and say no. If you watch that home run record between them that summer and that documentary, which was amazing. Come on, man. People were coming back to them, filling those baseball parks, especially in those two in Wrigley and freaking St. Louis and Busch Stadium.
And everybody's come around on A-Rod since he's, hanging out with J-Lo, and then he's been doing the commentary for the games and stuff, and it's like...
did you see him earlier today? Stumbling out of wherever it was that he was partying?
Is with some chick or something? Oh, Tom Brady.
I saw Tom Brady coming off a boat, little tipsy.
A little tipsy. Avocado margaritas.
we just saw Clemens and Bonds get denied again in year number 9.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks is the hypocrisy, right? You have all of these writers that are writing articles now for The Athletic and ESPN, holier than thou. I'm not voting for Bonds and Clemens because they're dirty. And it's like, now, wait a minute. Most of you a-holes were writing 25 years ago, and you guys were literally getting paid to file articles for whatever paper you were affiliated with at that time, saying, oh, McGuire and oh, Sosa and oh, Bonds and Clemens and all of these guys. So you cashed dirty money 23 years ago, and now you're I'm up on my soapbox. It's like, get over yourselves. Either these guys are Hall of Famers or they're not. And while we're at it, let's get Shoeless Joe out of his grave, and let's get him inducted. Let's get Pete Rose in there.
Pete Rose, come on, baby.
Yeah.
You don't want
to the year he dies, the next time they have the Hall of Fame up, he goes in. Just because they want to just be like, you know what, Pete, you.
So like they've been saying for years, man, just build the wing. It was part of baseball. You can't just forget it. You can't.
And by the way, steroids and all that stuff going on right now has been in football forever. Don't tell me those guys aren't using something special in their bodies to go through what they go through on a weekly basis.
And we put Hank Aaron up on this pedestal, right? And he's literally, he said years ago, he's like, I would have used that if it would have been available to me. I'm not going to hold it against these guys because we all know the drug addicts.
These guys were all using methamphetamine. They were using greenies to make it to play games.
We literally have baseball cards with the name Rock Reigns on it. Okay, he wasn't being called Rock because he had a crack pipe. That's why he slid head first. Everybody's like, oh, he's paying ode to Pete Rose. No, he doesn't want to bust his pipe in his back pocket. It's like we literally have baseball cards, and his nickname.
Did you see that? Did you see that the guys that were cleaning up the sidelines from the Super Bowl found liquor bottles in a water jug on the Chiefs sidelines that were empty?
And we're surprised.
With as bad as that offensive line was, I'd be drinking on that sideline.
Yeah. Steph, you said you had a quick clip.
Can we, since we just talked about it, the fact that Patrick Mahomes was falling backwards like at an 82-degree angle and still damn near completed passes 30 yards down the field.
Hands down, the best quarterback. I'm taking right now, if I'm starting a team today, like the guys are all the same age, I don't care. I will trade my next 10 picks just to make sure I have Pat Mahomes. And I don't care who else. I don't care if Murph's the receiver and I'm starting tackle. Let's do this.
If you look at his numbers from the Super Bowl, his numbers at the Super Bowl are the exact reason why I say numbers always lie, right? You can't look at a box score in the prism of what it is and analyze it, because you look at his box score and go, my God, that man had a terrible game. And he did. But when he's running 22 yards behind the line of scrimmage, not once in a while, every snap. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously they knew what was coming because the Chiefs decided they were one-dimensional and weren't going to run the ball. And the tackles were injured. And then Mahomes is still almost completing passes. It's just amazing. And that's why you can't rely on stats.
I just love how everybody's comparing him to Rex Grossman's Super Bowl, saying that Rex Grossman even had a better quarterback rating than Mahomes during that game. And it baffles me that we're even going to fathom talking about Rex Grossman and Mahomes.
They were missing 3 starting offensive linemen they started the year with. Both tackles and a right guard. And by the way, the 2 tackles weren't all, Pro Bowlers, but the guard was a former pro Simile, who was with the Ravens and the Raiders.
Well, you also have Tardif too, who took the year off.
Yeah, so basically 4 of their starting offensive linemen. Anyway, Steph, what's your clip, bud?
Yeah. Well, 2 things. one, I think the streaker had more yards than the Chiefs for most of the game, but also get some audio here.
Those cards are going to
Tops opening the
single
51
and
tops
double.
pack.
They're actually meant to be
This was cool.
played a game of card baseball.
So we got the great Billy Goodman and Tony Alviano. These are the red back here.
Now, the thing that I found interesting were these were punctured out. These weren't actually flat cut.
So we go in our way back time machine, the DeLorean you have parked outside your house. and we go back to 1951, where would we buy one of these packs? Were they just like the 5 and dimes, or were they, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know. You were
corner
alive then.
stores. And I do know that at least through most of the 50s, Tops would actually go like right outside their headquarters to a candy shop or wherever and drop down a box on the counter just to see what sold. Market research.
What was their price point on those? A nickel?
Oh, I think the original ones are a penny.
So what's crazy
Yeah,
about those, right? Those cards were used for a game, right? Because they had single, double, and stuff written on them. So
That was down here, yeah.
So that's cool. But real fast, you were talking about the streaker. I know it's a side note. Did you know that he ended up putting a bet that a streaker was gonna, run on the field, and he put and he ended up winning
He put 50K down. It was plus what, 750. He ended up clearing $700 or $374,000.
You only had to pay like $500.
What's his bail? We need to know the
$500.
It ended up being $1,000 because I think he had to
okay.
pay because his buddy hopped on the field to be a distraction.
Okay.
So they went after his buddy first. That's why he got
Okay.
so far.
But it
So
wasn't
he had to
500
pay
for
too.
him.
Now we know what we're doing next year, boys.
But what I'm telling you is now that bet is off the boards. There's no way they can have that bet on the boards ever again, where you could bet and control it.
2 cards for
120 per box, penny each. Talking $1.20 for 240 cards.
So now Topps 52 was a nickel, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so.
Because
I don't think they raised it to a nickel until the mid 50s. Oh no, I stand corrected. Sure, 52 is 5 cents.
Okay, so it goes up. It goes up 500%, right? You go from a penny to a nickel, because we've talked about this before, where we're buying 87 Topps packs at $0.25 a piece, and they started going up to 35 cents, and then 89 comes around, and all of a sudden Upper Deck's $1. And we were like, oh my gosh, imagine having to get $1 out of my dad now instead of 50 cents. But think about that. Back in 51, 52, now granted it wasn't the collectible that we now know it to be, but going from a penny to a nickel was no joke, especially if you're a little 8-year-old. That would have been some serious jack back then.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I didn't realize how small those actually were until I got the Blake Jameson ones, which are awesome. But I didn't realize like how tiny they actually were. I thought they were just a little bigger than that, but no, because I'd never actually seen one in my own ass with my fingers before.
Yeah, no,
by the way, if you missed out on the Blake Jameson set, I think that's one that's going to slide underneath the radar. So
I was shocked that there was no McGuire, and I know that he had said on our show that he didn't come up with the checklist. He had some influence over being able to put Jackson as an A instead of a Yankee, for instance. But I was surprised, considering that he is a fellow A's fan, that he wasn't able to negotiate a McGuire in there for us.
So back to 2021 Topps. There's some cheat codes on the variations on the very bottom of the card. On itty bitty tiny writing, there's a number. The base cards will have the code 213. You'll have a short print will be 230. A super short print's going to be 231, and the ultra short print will be 323. We all remember that George Brett that came out that I was really sad that I never got. There's a guide now on Beckett. You can check out the variations. Ryan's updating that as quickly as he can. He's got quite a bit up there. I know Brett's got a short print. And be careful because – go ahead.
I was just going to say, not as impressed. I was scrolling through it just a little bit ago to see how many other A's. I knew that there was a Matt Chapman, and seeing some of the other cards in years past, they've looked pretty sharp, to the point that some of these short prints are awesome additions. This year, just there was only a couple that made me stop and go, that's a really good looking card.
So, they were kind of boring.
Yeah, there have been some really good ones in years past, Nolan Ryan ones, and the Reggie Jackson with a bat between his leg. The Griffey Ultra short print's going to be slick.
Yeah, and then also too, here's some retail odds, so that Ryan put out, which I thought they were pretty interesting. That, good Lord, be lucky in retail. I mean, you're talking a gold parallel and a blaster is 1 in every 27 blaster packs. A rainbow foil is 1 in every 10. You're gonna have the Royal Blue. Yeah, you're in the royal blue, which is a Walmart only, we believe, is 1 in 4. Vintage stock is like 1 in 555. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, they made a lot of this stuff. And somebody asked me today, hey, I saw somebody selling a blaster for $40. Should I buy? I said, no. I said, just wait. It's going to be out there. You're going to be able to pick it up for $20. I said, if someone offers you a blaster for $25, $26, then I would say probably, yeah, if you couldn't find it. That's pretty much going to let them make $1 or $2 if they're not shipping it to you. If they're shipping it to you at that price, then you made money on it. So, the tops through the years, this is not there was a tweet out. Brent, I think this is from Brent Williams, or no, this is from Ryan Cracknell. This is not a 1 of 1 or a Mike Trout autograph. It is a 2021 Topps Series 1 reprint of a Topps Dynasty card, a card of a card. FYI, there's a statement on the back clarifying this. There's also a nice 70s logo that walks around the card that says that that's what it is. And first of all, they are not pretty cards. Here's the so there you go, Steph. So there you see all that writing around there, and they're not pretty cards. And it's just a card of a card, which I think is just the dumbest thing in the world. Why have it? I don't understand. But this person I listened for $3. There was somebody who put one bid for $3.99 because they thought they were getting a Mike Trout autograph, which is dumb.
The prices on these are amazing, and people are literally posting. There was a McGuire one earlier going for $1,000, and he's listing it as an auto relic. So if we're just buying it based off the title that particular seller listed it as, yes, I'm getting a triple threads McGuire auto relic out of 3. That's what I would be expecting for my money in the mail, based on how he chose to list it, or she. And when I reached out as the sweet, sincere, loving collector that I am and pointed that out to him, his response was thanks. And then he lowered it from $1,000 to $600. And it's like, dude.
Yeah. I think I listed all mine for $1 just to sell them because I don't want them. I think they're ugly. They're hideous.
Yeah, he had the platinum out of 70. So, maybe it's a $20 bill on a good day. But the base are worth $3 to $5 depending on what shipping cost is, right? It's perfect for a PWE. And I know Brent's already got burned on a couple where they were bought as if they were one thing and canceled.
Yeah, he said the top through the years inserts have taken up so much time today, at least 30 emails and several cancels due to people thinking they are auto relics. A lot of new folks here, that's for sure. So I get the questions, but they have so many folks confused. I think, I just think when they did those, the last couple years, they've done the Topps Now reprints, and it's it reminds me of when I was a little kid. You remember those cameras that took the film, the 110 film that were long, and every kid had one in the 80s? I took a picture of a postcard of that I had of Walter Payton. And it looks like, that's what it looks like. It looks like a little kid took a picture of their favorite thing. And then it was like, oh, here's my favorite baseball card. I'm going to take a picture of it, and then I'm going to make a card of it. So stupid.
Well, and the worst is, I know we've covered it in the past, where the grading company actually authorizes it as the authentic autograph.
Yeah.
Because even it failed their systems. Grading's a scam.
Matt posed an interesting question in the YouTube chat. And he said, if you really had that 1 of 1 Mike Trout, would you be mad that they reprinted it? And it's like, man, if I saw that come out today, you're damn right, with all the additional press, that'd be going up for auction here within the next couple of days.
Here's the real one.
And it just went up exponentially.
Yeah. And I'm sad because normally, like last night and today, I would have just been on Twitter, alerts for Brent Becca, because he would have been opening, his 100+ cases. And I think this year he opened 5, which to him's like opening 5 boxes. And I was really sad, but he did have some tweets. I said the gold odds aren't very even one per box anymore for a hobby. They're 1 in every 27 packs. Production is way up again as expected, and all colors and limited items are very tough. I can tell you that he said that he also notes that inserts are tough too. Of the 6 hobby insert sets, 4 of them do not fall even 1 per box. I can tell you, you can open hobby packs on your and I love Topps. I love flagship. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes you can open a hobby box pack, and in the 14 cards, you don't get even the one insert. That's how tough. That's how much they made and how tough they are. Normally, you used to get one insert per hobby pack.
4 or 5 of my hobby packs had no insert.
Yeah, and then in Jumbo, I can tell you, you get 4 because that's what I open. You get 4 inserts, and that's it. And it's, I mean, they're always going to make a lot of it. And we're not going to have but I'm just saying that if you have low numbered colored parallels or variations of these cards, they are going to command, especially with team and player collectors, a little bit more of a premium this year than in other years. So just be aware of that it actually kind of means something a little good when you have something numbered out of 2021 gold, because those are going to be hard to come by. And even though it shouldn't be.
What are the pack odds on those?
Number from previous. You want this year's more.
What are the pack odds on how often you'll pull a gold numbered out of 2021?
1 and 8 in Jumbo.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? You take 330 and multiply it by 2021, and it comes just under 667,000 cards. That's how many they're printing to be able to satisfy that print run times the amount, okay? So now if we multiply that number times 8, they're going to have to make 5.3 million cards in order just to be able to get that amount of cards out into the market, right? And that's just that one numbered card times 330. So if we did that for all of the gold foil and rainbow foil and all of the other parallels, and then we also do that for all of the hits and all the subsequent parallels, and then we do that for all of the inserts, when you do that math and you tabulate it, and you could throw it all into an Excel spreadsheet, and if you got the pack odds in front of you, I almost guarantee you're going to get to 1.2, 1.3 billion cards needed to be printed in order to satisfy the printed checklist as we see it. And that's before we get to short prints, super short prints, and other exclusives in retail that are unannounced.
That doesn't even count the new parallels that were announced, that weren't announced on. They're not on the packs, and no one said anything. The red out of 199, there's an orange out of 299, and a green out of 499, and they're good looking cards. Don't get me wrong.
Sure,
it's kind of a little hollow foil look to it. But the thing is that okay, so those weren't announced, so there's more stuff there, and so I asked Ryan about last night when I pulled
like
one.
The Bowman Rainbow Ice parallels from like 14, 15, and that general.
So I reached out to Cracknell last night, and he sent me a DM back from the message he got from Brent. He said Brent was going to use the names green, speckle foil. There's orange and red, I believe. Waiting to hear back from him if they're jumbo exclusives. They're not on any wrappers. My guess would be in addition to have more content to go with larger print numbers. So you again,
mine came out of a hobby.
They're paniniing, huh?
Mine came out of a hobby.
Yeah. So I think that this is kind of weird. This was like as people were opening and stuff. I think we're going to find out it's probably a hobby only. These are going to be hobby only, but parallels, but still.
We're all familiar with the blonde gal in the meme where she's like looking away like, nah. And then she's like, oh, okay. Right. That dual picture. If you were to tell me that they had to print 2 billion cards in order to satisfy the Series 1 demand or anticipated demand, the first thing I think you would scoff at that number and go, nah, come on, 2 billion. And then when you start doing the math, you really realize it's not taking me that long to get close to that 1 billion number because you have over 2,000 different cards on the checklist before we get to the unannounced stuff and before we start to tabulate the parallels. And then you have to have enough base to be able to have that out there. I mean, the quantitative data is there if one of us were to sit down, and then guess what? Series 2 is coming out in June. Update will come out in October. And that's just 3 releases get us to 5 billion cards before we go to the rest of baseball and all of the other sports. There will be 30 to 40 billion cards without batting an eye released in 2021 with ease. You will get there if you were to sit down on every checklist because we know Donruss and Panini Prism are going to account for probably 15 billion on their own.
So what do you think about this, Murph? You hear these numbers and all the print stuff, and knowing it's out there, but it's hard to find, or the box prices are where they are. I mean, as a returning collector, how does that sound or feel to you?
Well, I went on Mojo when I saw that they're doing. I didn't get a jumbo. I got a hobby, and it's on its way. I think it for $129. So just hearing all the numbers and stuff like that is just crazy to me. Because as a kid, there wasn't parallels, relics, all that kind of stuff, right? There's just your base card. I like in some sense that there are different type of cards, like the colors. I'm big on say to go back on a Luka card. I like if it's the color of the team, so like bluish or whatever, like that kind of refractors and stuff like that. I think some of them are cool. I think some of them are just too much. Like, do we really need 3 to 7 colors of the same card? So just to keep producing, but I don't know. It just baffles me that there's just so much out there and how much they're charging people. And like you're saying earlier, $700 for 80 cards and just craziness. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing here.
So that, you got a good price. I think Steph is in the same neighborhood on that 130 for a hobby box. And that's a good price in today's market. I mean, if you look back, those boxes in previous years, if you look back 16, 17, 18, those were 68, 70, like 68 to about $80, $85, especially if there was a hot rookie in there, was the price. And it's just like, okay, well, we've seen these, and they've made more of it. And it's just one of those things. It's buyer beware. And guess what? I'm not blaming you if you're buying it, because I opened this case and I'm probably going to lose money on it. But guess what? I got that so much fun of opening it and going through it and checking out the cards. And it's one of the only products that I actually open every year, and I really enjoy it. And again, that's going to count for something. My favorite thing was go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. It cut out, so I didn't ever know if you stopped. No, it's just like what you're saying exactly. Like when I was getting back into it, there was nothing like just buying something for $150 to $180 and seeing that it had $19.99 on the box. Stuff like that. It's just like, but I wanted to open up cards. Like, I didn't want to just buy single cards. I wanted that nostalgia of being a kid again and opening up physical cards. And I lost my grandma in March, the day I moved in here in Vegas, and she was a big person in my life. I watched A's games with her and stuff, and she would buy me baseball cards. When we went to the store, she would buy me full on box baseball cards for $20. And it's like the 1990-91, I think, score, the big green box that has those cool inserts where the players like the Canseco doesn't have a shirt on, and the Ricky Henderson, I don't think he has a shirt on. He's still in the stuff like that. Like, yeah, Kirby Puck. Yeah. So I miss
Kirby's titties.
I miss rest in peace, Kirby. I missed that. So I wanted to open, like what you're saying. I'm probably going to lose money on most of the things that I bought at the beginning, but it's crazy that at the beginning I was buying Mosaic basketball. And now that I look at it, Mosaic basketball is not an attractive kind of card to have anymore. I'm trying to get rid of them, but I wanted to open up cards, and they were $150 back then. And now you can't even buy like $200 and something now. So I look at it like, oh my God, I got a good deal because I got it at $150. But then I'm like, why was I buying this? Because I didn't want the Jaws, I didn't want Zions. I just wanted to open up cards, and I jumped in. But like you guys are saying, the prices of these things, the amount of cards you can get, and what Ben's saying, that the amount of cards that are out there being produced and people stealing it and all this kind of stuff, it's just like, it's crazy to me. Like, at least Target now that I went to Vegas, I have like 7 Targets that are literally like 10 minutes next to each other. And they're just now finally having not just the sign that says you can only buy in 1 and 2 because people are still abusing that, but now they're having it to where you have to actually go up to their customer service. And that is giving people like me a chance, because I was the nerd that stand in line for video game systems in front of Targets. There was the person who would stand in line for
PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2. You were there at Target, right? With Bohanna? Man. I was up for
So stuff like that I get, right? But to stand in line and to steal Pokemon cards from kids and all this kind of stuff is just it baffles me.
We're gonna get to the Pokemon McDonald's.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah.
No, it's okay. I love it. And then that was crazy. And then I have some updates on some Target stuff too. I found out today. Real quick, Cheap Fun Breaks tweeted out a redemption. It says that he got from Topps. And this guy's open lots. It's a Topps 70th buyback anniversary. It's a redemption card from Topps 2018 Topps baseball from 2021 Series 1. Topps does not in any manner make any representation about or guarantee any specific condition or grade of the associated card with this redemption. Okay. So interesting. It's a lot of words on a redemption card. And then two, like we talked earlier, Yanks Chick Sue's tweeted out that on the Top Spot website they had boxes for $80. And by the way, I mean if you haven't, list the inserts on eBay wherever you want to. They are selling like crazy. People are all about them. I mean, my eBay store has been on fire today. Similar to if you went to Taco Bell for like a week straight and ate nothing but bean burritos. That's the best analogy I could come up with for that. But no, it's been fun. And again, the design is kind of growing on me. The one complaint I do have, and I talked to Bayside Breaks about this, is that the nameplate is a little small, and maybe it's because I'm an old man now. But they could have just like, instead of having it be like a 6 font, they could have like upped it to, maybe like a 10-point font, and it still would have fit. And then the Rookie Cup, here we go. And then the Rookie Cup trophies being just like everywhere,
wherever they want, just in the middle,
wherever, just mismatch, So that was kind of I think that. By the way,
on the Rip Party yesterday, they had some of the guys that were part of the Rookie Cup class. Right, they had 10 guys last year, I think, and they had Devin Williams, Sean Murphy, a couple of guys talking, and they showed their Rookie Cup card. And I'm just like, that is the stupidest thing. I mean, it's like right at Sean Murphy's waist, as opposed to his
Alec
ankle.
Baum looks like he farted his out.
Yeah, it's like
he's in a batting stance.
Like as a catcher, he's trying to make a play or something, and it's like, is that the ball or the Rookie Cup? Because that's the stupidest. Anyway, man,
I got a question on the design. I can't be the only one that sees this. So first of all, here's an example card.
That's weird. We have the same example card.
You guys knew about that because of Steph's time machine.
Yeah.
Nice. There we go.
I can't be the only one that sees
There
it.
it is.
The one thing I do love, though, borders. Flagship needs borders. It's not Stadium Club. It's not it's not any of these like Chrome. I know is the reprint of this one, but it's not any of the fancy brands. It needs borders, and I'm glad it has it. And what was your first card, Steph? Mine was Sonny Gray of the Reds.
John Lester.
I was like that first card of the year. That's what I claim as my first card of the year.
A's.
With an asterisk. The base card, it was John Lester, but my first actual pack that I opened was Hank Aaron.
Why do you open that first? You open that last. It's the kids' dessert.
So
do you think I don't eat the dessert first?
That's true.
Jeremy on the Rip Party had said that he'll start today thinking about what 2022 is going to look like. And it's like, so you're telling me you thought about this 2021 design for a whole year, and this is what wrapped out
last year.
It's like years ago I was playing fantasy football, right? And this got to be around 2000-ish. And this guy had his nose in like some random magazine for a good 45 minutes between draft picks. And they called on him for his pick, right? And he looks up and he's like, I'm going to take Mushed Muhammad. He didn't pronounce the guy's name right, but I was just like looking at him like, you looked seriously in that magazine for 45 minutes. And Muhammad is the name you pulled out of your ass? It's like, so if you're thinking about this, Jeremy, for 300 plus days, we got you. You got to do better, kid. Got to do better.
We can help you out. Come call us. By the way, did you know Walmart jerseys are in? Like Walmart jerseys at Card PRN, Card Parn. Just when you thought it was safe to buy game used cards worn again, Panini have just released patch cards which are not associated with any specific player, game, or event. Is Panini just using Walmart jerseys for their patch cards now? The enclosed officially licensed material is not associated with any specific player, game, or event. His was a guy, Jordan War of the Bucks. And then even Cardboard Icons tweeted out, whoa. WTF is this language? Again, the same language, and it was on a LaMelo Ball Rise and Shine, the same insert series that this guy had. So we're saying this is worn, touched, or looked at by LaMelo Panini America. Really, like this is ridiculous. So they're just putting in some kind of a jersey thingy napkin in there that has nothing to do with the said player. Then why even do it? That's just some shit. Like,
in
sorry,
true Panini effort, one Cardboard Icon shared this picture as well. Because with Panini stuff, if you shine a light through it, you could actually read what their pre-made label is for when the person actually goes to applying them, and you could start to see LaMelo.
But that's the label. But that's the label for the card.
And that's assuming that the person actually put the right jersey piece in. But
the language is
my biggest critique for that is that game or event, okay, fine, sure, but the player. So you're telling me that Tim wore this at the National and they clipped it up for this guy?
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. Then why even make the card? Like, that pisses me off. Like, it's a $3 card no matter what, but it's stupid. It's stupid. Mm-hmm. You know, and by the way, if I'm telling you right now, this is my guess, and I want to put this on Twitter and do a poll. 2021 Prism Basketball. Last year we had 48 or 49 colors. I'm going to go back and I'm going to get every year Prism. I'm going to tweet out how many colored parallels they've had every year. But this year they're going to get to the 60s. Now, I don't think they've broke 50, but this next year somehow they're going to figure out 60 colors and designs to have parallels in this year's Prism Basketball. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be ridiculous. We're going to have they're going to come up with colors we didn't even know existed. They've called Elon Musk and said, hey, listen, we know you have that Tesla floating around in outer space. Have you found some new colors? We need some. We're running out over here. Crayola, help us out, please.
It's the beauty of an oligopoly. They don't have to try very hard because
brown sienna.
If we don't like it, we can take our money and we can go out into the garden.
Yeah, it's also too like when your wife picks out paint for the house. Okay, so this is white beige number 6, and this is white beige sunrise morning glistening sun, and it looks the same, but it's like just one. Yeah, and there you go.
We just repainted our kitchen for the umpteenth time, and we literally went through that. She's like, this is this color purple and this color white, and I'm like, that's purple and white, man. And she's like, yeah, but it's this. And then when we went over to the Home Depot to buy those colors, we ended up with like an off green and almost like a mint chip color, and it's just like. It's like, this is why when you say, why do you need all the different parallels? And I'm like, because they make them. They want Ben to buy them. That's why they put them on the checklist. Me and my friends are all going to go buy 43 parallels. And if they make 47, we'll buy those other 4. It's because you guys go to Home Depot and you guys have to take home paint samples yay big that are all 4 colors. But then you have 58 different names. That's why, sweetheart.
When I was painting my house like 10 years ago and I moved in here, like I wanted it because it was all this like weird beige color. I wanted something different. And so my mom went and picked some colors out and said, which one do you like? And I said, I like that one because it's called brown teepee. And it's kind of like a tannish color. But I said the brown, and she goes, like teepee, like a tent. I said, yeah, but I'm going to think of it as dirty toilet paper. So, I remember the name of the stupid paint just based on the name. Like, it was awesome. Some wise words came out from Gary Vee this week, and I think Ben will even agree that these were very wise words from Gary Vee. He said, in a response to a tweet from some guy named Sean Stentic, Sean tweets, hey, Gary, have you picked up any Jason Dominguez cards? Any you recommend to pick up? Gary tweets back, Sean, to me, this is a full-fledged gamble. This is full-fledged gambling. I lived through Kevin Moss and Ben McDonald and Wally Joyner. Those were $1 to $8 cards. These days, the risk is extraordinary to me. I own none.
Damn it, I hate you.
Right?
Okay. I said one nice thing today.
You agreed with Brian Gray in talking about Vegas Dave. We're going to talk about that later in the show too. What's happening?
That's you and I agreed on like 5 things the other day.
Yeah, and we agreed on the Super Bowl, which we were both wrong on. Steph was right. He picked the Bucks and Brady, and look at Steph. And we're, but
Yeah,
you know what? But that's the only Super Bowl thing Steph's ever going to win, being a Vikings fan.
It's more than the Raiders.
And by the way, I really, and all of my reallys hope that the 49ers trade and they get Kirk Cousins and they give up to get rid of Jimmy V or Jimmy G to get Kirk Cousins, the interception and incompletion king. I think it would be awesome to see him in San Francisco, and just how dumb the NFL is for thinking that Kirk Cousins is a quality quarterback.
We're an hour and a half into the show, and I was told that we were going to make fun of Vegas Dave at some point. That's why.
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make
later
sure.
in the show. The Pokemon Madness. So at Alex K245, Alex Kent said, "I'm sorry, not sorry, but this is wrong. This is meant for kids. Target and Walmart, etc. is fair game, but not this. Come on, people. I've got kids who love playing Pokemon, and you're taking this from them. This is a new low stop." The tweet came down. I couldn't find a picture of it, but it was a guy that had like a case of the Pokemon stuff from McDonald's.
150 per.
Yeah.
But it was like, but it was a case like they get at the store, like at the Walmart location to give out. Also, too, Cardboard Icon sent me two pictures of this dude's trunk, and he said that, I bought him direct from McDonald's, but he also he bought him direct, and they didn't go through the McDonald's location. And it was on Facebook, but he actually had a bunch of Happy Meal boxes in his trunk as well.
Yeah, he on the picture he had a bag of the boxes of the Happy Meal boxes coming out of the bag too. Like he had it all set up. It was ridiculous.
My thing is, if I worked at McDonald's making $8 an hour or whatever, I'd give up my job to sell one of these boxes for like a couple grand, and then take some unemployment for a minute and go have some go work at Burger King next week.
Well, so here's the thing. They're supposed to be raising these so that they're like $5 per individual pack, thus disincentivizing people from not getting going up to McDonald's like me and Angela did. Because one, we kind of like Pokemon, and we were there when the game first came about, and getting 2 Happy Meals for 2 people. But it's cheaper to buy the Happy Meal than it is to buy them individually, because they're raising the price to them. They're at a unique advantage over all the other retail places in being able to stop flippers. But I mean, obviously, this is the case when you see all of the. He had to have at least gone to several stores to get all of those individual boxes.
But it depends. I mean, because McDonald's are franchised, so
Sure.
It's tough to say. We went to McDonald's last night, and the boys both picked up a pack of cards in their Happy Meal, and I made a comment on Twitter last night, that I'm about to be a millionaire, and just kind of having fun at it. And they opened up their packs, and 3-year-old's all excited. He's like, "I got cards like you, Dad," and he's like, "Crumple, crumple, crumple." I'm like, "Haha, not like me, you don't." And now I know you're not going near any of Dad's cards, but.
Real quick, Ben Aguirre just sent us. This guy has 10
Yeah.
cases, and he thinks Garrett's kicks.
Yeah,
That was the individual one. Yep.
Yeah, that's
you
the
get
picture I saw.
You get 4 cards in a pack, and I'm not a Pokemon expert, so I don't know about the card stock if they're the same.
They're the
same
same card stock. There's 1 shiny card per 4.
I don't get why. I am very naive when it comes to this stuff because it's not my area of expertise. But I looked at it and go, people are gonna lose their jobs over trying to flip this stuff. I don't see the associated value on the secondary. And if this is where we've come to where we're literally, have some dirty old man knocking over a couple of 8-year-olds to grab their Happy Meals on the way out the door, it's like, shame on us, man, as a hobby. This is ridiculous. At this point, it's crossed the line that, this is, ludicrous at this point.
Yeah.
And shame on that dude. And he deserves to get punched in his nether regions if you see him around your local McDonald's.
Yeah,
Well,
and I love how he's getting
usually-
called out left and right.
Well, yeah, and he tagged in that bot group that everyone else has been using to get this, that, and the other product ahead of time.
That's weird. That's suspicious.
No, not at all.
That SVA BB Collectors tweets out, how the hell is an 82 top Lawrence Taylor PSA 10 a $13,000 card now? Went up real quick in less than a month, went from $1,000 to $12,600. How? What did he do? I talked to, what was it, Ben? We talked last week, right? I said, did he bring Kobe back? Like, seriously, like, what did he do to make his card go up 13x? He's a defensive player. He's been in the Hall of Fame for years. He's not been in the news or anything lately. This is, I don't know. This is something else. This is, hey, like, I owe you for, that pound of Kush you sent my way. So put up a card, and I'm going to pay you for it. I'm going to launder my money. It's ridiculous.
There's got to be some serious money laundering going on in this hobby right now. I mean, it's a perfect vehicle, especially.
By the way,
with
look at these. Look at these for sale. Probstein 123 PWCC. Yeah. Run away! If you see that in the listing, do not buy from those shield builders and scoundrels of the scourge of the hobby. Like that's insane. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, just think if the old mafia bosses, the 5 families in New York had access to eBay and trading cards. I mean, the amount of money.
Walter White.
Yeah, this is shenanigans are going on, and PayPal not giving 1099s at $600, but giving them at $20K. That's cool. I'll just open up a million different email addresses with a million different credit cards, and do everything at $19,999. Not like the people that are doing these are filing their taxes correctly anyway.
Yeah. Also, too, real quick, PayPal has more blocks than Dikembe Mutombo. So at Jay Cutler's burner account, tweet out my PayPal's response to my account inquiry. Somehow his account was blocked from PayPal. As you know, he says, I only use PayPal for eBay and for soccer card stack sales. So fully reviewed my ass. And what they said was, hello, thank you for being... Oh, go ahead.
Being patient as we've been working through our messages. Sorry you no longer have access to our services. This type of decision isn't something we do lightly, and I can assure you that we fully review all factors of an account before making this type of decision. While I understand that you don't agree with the outcome, this is something that would have been fully reviewed, and we would be unable to change. If there's a balance in the account, that will be held for up to 180 days to minimize any potential risk of loss due to disputes or chargebacks that may be filed during that period. After 180 days, you'll be notified of your ability to withdraw the balance. If you have any issues then, please let us know. I regret that we're unable to provide the answer you're looking for in this situation, and I hope you have a good week.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a good week now.
Yeah.
So real quick, this is the reason why I know with my PayPal account, and because I have the business license and all that stuff here in California, I set up a PayPal business, and so I was able to get a debit card attached to that account, so I can make purchases through that. But if you don't have something like that, but you have a debit card or checking account or whatever attached to your PayPal, or you have Venmo, I've heard a lot of people that deal with like financial fraud or stuff like that deals with like trans money and stuff. They said do not keep money in there long term. If you have the ability to move it to a real account, do so in case like something like this were to happen. You're going to hold your money for 180 days at least, right? Before you can get those funds. Even if whatever, they canceled for whatever reason, they don't want to let you use their system. That's their decision. But again, that's your money in there. So I do a thing where I go once a week, whatever funds are in there, I cash out and I put into a checking account that I have now specifically for sports cards. And my bank allowed me to open up a checking account for free. Based on my other checking account and the history I've been with them, check it out. Even if it does have a small monthly fee, of 5, or you have to order checks or whatever it is. Do whatever that is, or go to a credit union in a different bank and get that account, so you do have something like that protection where you can move that money. It just kind of help protect yourself for this, because we've seen a lot of other breakers and stuff that maybe not have. I don't know if they have businesses set up where they were getting shut down last week for different things. So yeah, once a Cub, I did get some. I got some interest from PayPal this week, because I had some money in there, and it was like 50 cents. So I was able to buy nothing with that. But so Murph talked about Target and having to go to the customer service counter to get your 2 boxes. Ben Aguirre said, "Oh snap! Target registers now blocking sales. 2 card SKUs per transaction. Says there is a limit and there is no option to bypass. Had to put back Topps Chrome, but got these for the boy, and it was some hoops. I didn't get everything I wanted, but very much appreciated this progress, Target." So very interesting. I love it. I think it allows now everybody to go in, and not saying that you couldn't have a friend that works at Target and ring you up in multiple different transactions to get whatever you want. But it does at least slow it down a little bit if it's in the system to block. And then, that's where he got that LaMelo random piece of jersey swatch card. So,
well, so and I've got 2 obvious questions. One, I wonder if this is just regional, if this is
and he's in the San Jose part of the Bay Area. So,
well, I mean, it might be district wide. California, Arizona, Nevada, what have you. And 2, whether that actually counts at self-checkout. Because I know that's what people have been saying, that, sure, the clerk person will get denied if they try to scan more than 2. But if you go to self-checkout...
Well, and at self-checkout, too, they could block it because, here in California, you can't self-check with liquor. So,
right.
They could block those SKUs, It'd be nice if we had somebody who was a checker for a long time on the show. Sometime they could talk about what else.
I was for a couple of years.
So, no, it's I worked at Target for a hot second, but I think back, I worked there in 2003 and 2004, and I think about all of the basketball cards that were over there that I laughed at, that I was like, who collects cards anymore? That was a pretty good draft class in 0304.
Pretty okay. Pretty okay.
Yeah. So those grades are going to cost you a whole lot more. This came from those back pages, BGS pricing schedule. This price time structure is not the best idea. If you have economy with no subgrades, it was previously a 30-day service level, is $20 a card for no subgrades. On economy with subgrades, it's $35 a card. Standard was the 10-day service, no subgrades, $30 a card, with subgrades, $50. The 5-day service is now called Express. No subgrades is $100 a card, with subgrades, $150. And the 2-day service, no subgrades, is $125 a card. And the 2-day service now called Premium, and with subgrades is $250 a card. So if you're going to grade a card at $250, okay, and it doesn't tell the timeline, it says previously was a 2-day service level. Who knows how long that 2 days is now? I think it was 10 or 12 business days.
Right, it's probably.
But that means the card has to be at least worth $250 minimum. So you're telling me any graded card now that has subgrades from BGS has to be worth at least $35. I'm sorry. That's insane.
That's ridiculous. But at the same time, maybe it'll cut down on everybody and their mother submitting, Bowman first cards of some guy who's 16 and just signed out of the Dominican Republic.
Or I get to grade my first card of 2021, my Sonny Gray.
Hey.
I mean, that is. if that doesn't discourage you right there, then like that, I mean, that's a first of all, you paid a beyond premium to probably get that card, and now you're paying another premium to have it graded. And even if you do a $20 with no subgrades, so now you know it's automatically going to sell less than the one with subgrades, because everybody wants to know, like, is it a 9.5 all around, or you know, you have all that. Like, I don't know. What is a binder? At NES Sports Cards 1 said, I know a lot of folks only use sleeves, top loaders, and one touches or slabbed cards. So many of the new folks in the hobby for the flip have never owned or would ever own or bother to use binders. It makes me sad. I love my binders. I just want to know what your thoughts are on, you know, like bindering sets or player collections.
So, well, two things. One, this is the Tim Wallach collector. So if you have any, he's trying to collect all of them, literally every single Tim Wallach card. I personally use binders. I'm actually getting organized such that I can put the rest of my sets away. But at the same time, I also have some cards that are in top loaders, some cards that are in Mac Touch, some cards that are just hanging out on my desk.
I mean, me too, but I don't know.
Cards
I just
still in the pack. I mean,
I put everything in binders. I put autos in there. I put relics in there. If I can fit them in a sleeve, it's going in there. You know why?
yeah. What kind of sleeves are you using where you can put like a 130 point card in though?
Let me take a picture of one and I'll have to send it out. I don't know where they came from. I acquired them in a collection of guy was selling a bunch of binders and sleeves out of his garage for like $40. They're much looser, so you can actually fit much thicker relics in there. There are some that are too thick, so you know you just kind of ass out.
Just tape them in there.
Yeah, at that point, I can,
So
like,
if you had like, okay, so you have all those
construction
Cespedes,
paper thick.
you have all those Cespedes like cards, right? We talked about you picked up. So even like that low numbered rare stuff, you just threw in a binder.
You see, this is the thought process, right? This is the devil and the angel of what I do for a living and my experience and education versus a collector, right? Because everything that I say, you know, obviously Murph talked about it earlier in the show. This is what I'm going to do, right? That word investing is a dirty word for somebody like me. But at the same time, it's like from my back, I should be going on to all of these websites, whether it's Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and gobbling everything up and flipping it left and right. I don't care if my cards aren't going to get destroyed in there. Yeah, I'm obviously going to be careful. I mean, I did pay for them. If it looks like they're going to be something that's going to get destroyed, I will put it somewhere else. But yeah, at the end of the day, it goes in binders. These are just trading cards. The value of these cards on the secondary market is what? Who has determined this? Because we collectively...
Well, they're ace cards now, so they're, you know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, half the guys don't play for the other team, right? You guys are like, oh, I pulled a Sonny Gray and a John Lester over here. Like, they used to play for the A's, and then it's like, hey, check the scroll today, and it's like, oh, we signed Jed Lowry to a minor league deal again.
Yeah, because they couldn't sign Tommy La Stella, so now the Giants signed him, and then you know just enjoy Chapman and Olsen while you have them before they end up.
Yeah, this
going
is probably
somewhere
the
else.
last. This year or the next year will be the last run with them. Although I guess they cleared a pretty big hurdle with the stadium this year, so or the new stadium. So who knows? But John Fisher is a hey. There's a reason he's worth $2.3 billion because he doesn't spend it on the A's.
Well, I'm just gonna say the Raiders will move again before the A's have a new stadium.
Possible. Speaking of the Raiders, if you haven't caught the 30 for 30 on Al Davis versus the NFL, you gotta watch it. And they took both Pete Rozelle and Al Davis, and they did that CGI where they make them younger. Obviously, in their cases, they're both passed on, but they brought them back to life and interviewed them as if they were still alive. What a phenomenal way to do a documentary. It was slick. I mean, we've seen a lot of different Star Wars have de-aged plenty of different characters in some of their movies and television shows. We're seeing that more in Hollywood, but the director to do that and bring them back to life with stand-ins.
Hey, you remember when ESPN used to have those
It's
classic
pretty-
games? Oh, sorry. those classic games would be like the 89 49ers versus like the 75 or the 72 Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Those were sweet. Those were awesome. Let's hop into a Topps Madness of the About the Cards Top Madness. 68 years of designs, breaking it down. The Sweet 16 ended this week. Did we have any upsets? Yes, we did. In the Klein bracket, number 5, 1954 beat the number 1 seed, 1964. It wasn't even close, 33-16. The Burger bracket had 2. So number 7, 1972 beat number 3 seed, 1971, 25-24. Slim margin there. And also the number 4 seed, 1983, knocked off number 1 seed, 1965 by the same score of 25-24. Early results for the Elite 8. So in the Beckett bracket, we have number 2 seed 1953 versus number 1 seed 1987. And I know 87 was getting smoked early on. The Burdick bracket, number 2 seed 1956 versus number 1 seed 1991. And I believe 1991 was losing there as well. So the 2 number 1 seeds aren't doing so well. Down over the Klein bracket, the 5 seed 1954 is facing number 2 seed 1952.
I can give you the totals.
That's a pretty close race. And then up in the Burger bracket, number 7 seed 1972 is facing number 4 seed 1983. And I believe 1983 is running away with that one so far.
So 53 has 13-10. I think James is stuffing some ballots. 56 is beating 81, 15-8.
91.
So yeah, that one's 54 is beating 52, 13-10, and 83, 17-6, including mine that I just posted.
So 72, the number 7 seed is the upset king. I mean that we lost 2 number 1s. The whole left side of the bracket stayed chalk, 1 2s, but the other side was all over the place, a 2 and a 5 and a 4 and a 7. I love it. Keep voting. Remember, this was 7 weeks long. We're in week 5, so we have the Elite 8 this week. Next week will be the Final 4, then the championship game. The votes go Wednesday to Tuesday, and it's sponsored by Underdog Collectibles. They offer a wide variety of break options, and that won't break the bank. Remember, always bet on the Underdog, and make sure you're putting your email address in there because they are giving away a box of 2020 Update to celebrate this. So we appreciate them over there, and check them out.
Nice.
And they also did a break with the youngster this week, so which was pretty cool. So, and it wasn't that other kid, Brody. It's a better kid. Poor packaging. So at SG Tolls, I'm so sick of receiving careless package damaged cards. The way I received fragile cards in the mail from people in this hobby blows my ever-loving mind, and I can only conclude these people are flaming idiots. There's no other exception. What do we have to do with sellers that so then Ben followed up with a question in our DMs, like, what do we have to do with other sellers that package poorly? At what point do we leave negative or neutral feedback or ask for our money back against shipping? I received a card this week that was it was a 3-card lot, and I bought it for 1 card. They were in a penny sleeve in an envelope, and that was it.
So me and Bennett actually talked about this after he posted that question because I had something particularly relevant for once. I got this in the mail. Flair Showcase from 1998 had a Wave of the Future, wherein there was an actual water bubble on the inside with some gel sparkles. Now, the problem with this is it's kind of built like a Pop-Tart. There's an inner bubble and then the actual card itself. Now, herein lies the problem. They put it into one of these, and if you can see, there's a good chunk of the moisture that was supposed to be inside the card. Taped it to this, which is still wet, and it's shinier than that one place where you get some barbecue wings with the glitter that's supposed to be on the inside. Now, I only paid like 50 cents for the card and like $1 for shipping, so I'm not all too entirely worried about getting my card back because, I mean, it's only a Mike Lowell But
But
I shouldn't have to worry about something like this. Shit, I got some on me.
I worked in high end retail in my younger days, and people would come in with a customer service issue, and I spent X amount of dollars with you, and I would tell them, hey, I don't care if you spend $5 or $5,000. I'm going to treat every customer service issue the exact same. We're going to find out what the problem is, and we're going to look for a solution together that's equitable for both the company and, of course, you, the consumer. And it's one of those things, to your point, Steph, I don't care that you only spent $1.50. The seller has he's obligated or she's obligated to get that card to you safely, regardless of what you paid. I had a bad package that exact day, so it was kind of interesting that card purchaser had a question on his timeline on Twitter that spoke to this. I saw in a Facebook group, somebody bought the Pink Wave refractor of Lewis Robert out of Topps Chrome Update, sent to PWE, and I'm a big PWE guy, especially now that we can get tracking on those. He sent that card in there without a penny sleeve or a top loader or a card saver. He literally put that in there naked. The card was in an envelope, like you're sending somebody a goddamn Valentine Day card, right? How this card did not get damaged in transit. When he pulled it out, he goes, "Are you serious?" He's showing pictures. I should have saved it because, I always do the hashtag, the shit you see on Facebook or eBay with different things. I should have saved it and go, "Are you kidding me?" But how that card came out undamaged, but it's just like, who in the world thought that this would be a good idea? And I don't care that it was a highly sought after player in the 2020 season. Again, it doesn't matter what it is. It could literally be a Series 1 Sonny Gray card. Somebody's going to value that as a good card. And if I'm paying hard-earned money, if I'm giving you a quarter of my money, that's my money. It's now your money, and I'm paying for a good. It's your job to get that to me safely.
Yeah.
So the funny thing was, I actually got another package from the same guy from a separate order the same day with 20 1985 Topps cards that were perfectly packaged. But that one in a single PWE got popped. And then later that day, I don't know if you can read that.
Thanks, Steph.
Love the show on YouTube.
And now everybody has your address.
Send me stuff.
So real quick, it's really
mail this guy spam. Just, if you want to sign up for a mortgage refinance, and they're like, "Hey, we need your address."
I'm a householder.
Give him Steph's. No, you're gonna get a pile of mail like this every day now.
I've got a shredder.
Well, so my thing is it's so one, if you're looking to ship, check out 1 Million Cubs, because he has a video where he packages up cards, and I think he does a really good job if you're looking to put some ideas. But legitimately, if you want used top loaders, save all of the top loaders, even if they have gunk and tape on them, that you get when you buy cards, and throw them in a box. And everybody's got an Amazon box laying around somewhere. Trust me, if it's like my house, I could live in them. But throw them in there, save them, and then reuse them when you're shipping cards out. And it's real easy. You don't have to even use tape. You put a card in a penny sleeve. Oh, God, they're called a penny sleeve for a reason. A penny. Put the card in there, put it in the top loader, and you can even fold it up in a piece of paper where it protects the card with zero tape. Put it in an envelope that you can go to the dollar store and buy. I will actually do a video on us, might be packing up a PWE probably at some point. But it legitimately, I just use printer paper, put it in there, and I sent it, and I've never had anybody come back and say, "Hey, I had a damaged card." And it's easy, and it's like, just take the time and effort, because why do you want to deal with the hassle of a return or a damaged card? Because then if you get the cards damaged, you have to give the money back, and now you have a card that's worthless because now it's damaged. And obviously it was worth something because someone paid you money for it.
So I would check out that video that you said you'd film, but I have a counter for that.
Dub's
Dub's got a good video too.
Yeah, we'll keep that out.
2.5 minutes.
He uses too many stamps though, because I told him, because I said you got to go buy those 15-cent stamps. So a regular stamp is 55 cents. You can buy a 15-cent stamp and it adds an extra ounce. So if you have, because one 55 stamp gets you an ounce, and then if you want 2 ounces, you only have to pay 15 cents more, not another 55 cents. And you can get them at the post office. So
It's a good conversation. At what point do we as a hobby decide that we're going to start leaving neutral and negative feedback on eBay, or ask for our money back? I mean, Steph, you should ask for your money back. I know it's an inconsequential amount of money, but this guy's got to understand. First off, you got to stop buying from him. But you got to look at it and go, hey, you sent me this card and it was damaged. That's on you. It doesn't matter if it was damaged in transit through a third-party logistic partner like, the U.S. Postal Service. It's still your responsibility as the seller to see that transaction through from the point of sale to the receipt of said item. That's just the way it is, and you're taking that financial liability as a result. We do that. It's just like when I've told people, hey, if you're gonna sell cards, that's not a way to do business. And I had one guy tell me, I'm not a businessman, I'm just selling cards. I'm like, yeah, but you're dealing with somebody else's money. So even though you're not a brick and mortar, even though you're not a licensed LLC or, S Corp, that's fine. You're still selling something, even if you bought it at a garage sale and you're flipping it on eBay.
yeah, so
Still a business transaction, even if you yourself are not business.
I've been fairly actually lucky myself where I haven't had one opportunity to get a card that came back damaged, except for one time I got it for cheap. Like I said, I was sniping on Macari, and it was the 96, 97 base set Jordan card that I was getting for 10. That's already like for 50 because it's in Kobe's rookie season. So I was sniping over there, and the guy had it as like new. And when I zoomed in, I should ask for more pictures. It looked good on the front. And then when I got the card, it was packaged well and everything like that. But on the very top, there was a brown stain, either like how they pulled out or whatever like that. So this is my first time with Macari ever having trouble. I've had, no troubles with eBay. And I've heard and seen stories about how, sending that in. So right away, it asks you the same setup. It tells you the person doesn't get paid until you rate it. So it had me just take pictures. And literally as soon as I sent it in that it was a complaint, they told me to keep the card. Macari tells you to keep the card, and then they give you a credit right away for how much the card cost. So I thought that was kind of cool, except for the fact that I wanted that card, but I already bought like 7 off that site. So I have like 6 more of those Jordans coming to one, keep, and then flip maybe other ones. But it was kind of, at least that was nice that Macari is just automatically giving me my money back and telling me to keep the card, which I don't know what I'm going to do with it now because it has a brown stain on the top.
The one thing, I buy these at the dollar store all the time, Dollar Tree, wherever. Also, too, I haven't bought the 15-cent stamps in a while because when I do, I usually buy a few books of them and it doesn't come across. And now I don't even need them because of the tracking thing, but that's what I'm going to use. But they're up to 20 cents now, so they went up a nickel. But there's some good videos. Use Dub, I said, and then once I come with Bo, like there's good videos out there to show shipping. So Brian Gray versus Vegas Dave here. Brian tweets out, it's Vegas Dave. He tweets out to Vegas Dave, watched your video about sports card market. As someone who actually knows the business, I'm challenging you to a one-on-one debate on the topic. We'll pick a show to host us. Right here, I asked, come on here, let's hang out. Got the balls to talk cards with someone who is really an expert or hide on Instagram. Let's do it. I would love them to be on this show because you know what? Like, there's no affiliations here. Not like some of the other shows that might have some names or whatever. We have 0 affiliations in the hobby. We're just 3 fat guys talking about cards. Come on here and hang out, Vegas Dave. I will dress in all pink to make you feel comfortable if that's what it takes. I have plenty of to wear. Let's do this. Guys, let's make it happen. I want you to tweet at both these guys and say, come on about the cards. Let them host this one-on-one matchup, and we can have some fun here one night.
Ooh, I shouldn't have talked smack then if we were trying to. He claimed on Instagram that he was the first person to say that the bubble's going to burst by 2024, although I'm pretty certain
Pretty
we've been talking about that for the better part of the last.
We've been comparing 2017 to 1987 for probably at least 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
So if you look back and if you Murph, so I don't know if you've heard, but so we talked. Ben brought this topic up. Was 1987 when McGuire and Maddox and all those guys were coming up, Larkin. That matches up with 2017 when this really started taking off with Aaron Judge and some of those guys, and how they've kind of paralleled those decades and years have paralleled each other. Kind of funny that way. You got a big home run guy like McGuire and a big home run guy like Judge, and Judge actually broke McGuire's rookie record that year. And it was just really strange.
Are weird, like almost Twilight Zone-ish.
But California kids, big, so.
Labor strikes. You have the internet coming around 93, 94. You had all the baby boomers and all of that money. Now you have all the tech money coming in. You have
because you bring it up. 94, there was a strike. I guarantee this is the last year of baseball we're going to have before there's a work stoppage next year. I think next year is when the thing expires. Correct, the agreement.
Yeah, it does, and they can't agree on a universal DH. They can't agree on expanded playoffs. What makes you think that coming off of a pandemic, these two sides that can't literally agree on whether or not to have a universal DH, that they just came off a season in which it was temporarily installed, we think that they're going to be able to agree on massive revenue changes and draft pick compensation and arbitration years, et cetera, et cetera. These people are in for a hell of a battle, and hopefully cooler heads prevail. But everybody is saying the apocalypse is upon us. It's most likely going to cause some delay to some season in the upcoming, and that's going to, I don't want to say it's going to cripple the trading card hobby, but you're definitely going to see
baseball's already not getting a lot of love of people watching games anyway. It's a whole nother that's a whole nother can of worms. All right, let's hop to the last thing tonight, the question of the week. At Doc Octagon C said, hey, you have to limit yourself to 3, and this is just baseball, 3 baseball products to break this upcoming season. Which 3 do you pick? Which 3 do you choose? You only open 3. Mine's Flagship and Stadium Club.
So Ginter and Stadium Club were my last 2 out. And you can see my answer there. Diamond Kings, Update, and Update Chrome.
I cheated because I said Flagship, so I'm counting all 3 releases.
So let's see. Fire, Gallery, and Archive.
But
I'm right there with you, Tim. I mean, Flagship, because I think that's the heart of most collectors that collect baseball. Stadium Club, I think most collectors agree that it's the best product. I'm not an A&G fan, so I would go with probably more something like Gypsy Queen, which I think is.
See, I feel people are either, like we've talked about this. They're either they're either Gypsy Queen people or they're Allen and Ginter people.
But I will say this, and I've said this on the show before: Ginter Chrome did not need to be made, but my lord, the parallels are
sexy,
so good looking.
Yeah. So I don't know, Murph. Do you have 3 baseball products that I know you're getting back into this?
Or just 3, any products?
Yeah, any 3 products. You can open any sport.
Well, if we're at baseball, I got into the Stadium Club Chrome. I bought a couple boxes of those, and I like the refractors. I got a Tatis refractor where he's getting the ball in the hole between the short and third, and I like the pictures they used for that. I like that Bichette they used. Where is it the one where he's walking onto the field or something like that? The view and some of the pictures on that one. So I like anything the Chrome. I like the Chromes. You got me into the Heritage. I like that Guerrera Jr. that you got me onto. You told me some Guerrera Juniors. I like the Heritage. And I liked actually the A&Gs, like you're saying, the Allen Ginter. I saw some online. I accidentally got a case sent to me, and I sent it back because I didn't know too much about the product. And I think I talked to you about it, Chef, about it. And I ended up getting it back and getting another Stadium Club because I like that. And I like the on-card autos they had in that. I wanted that Soto. I love that Soto look. But sport, like I said, Prism I never get my hands on. Getting back into it, I haven't got my hands on Prism. The only things that I opened was Mosaic. And I opened up a bunch of 2018 contenders. I opened up 2 cases of that one right there. But they have a bronze one that's really sick. It's like a bronze kind of refractor to it that looked like almost close to like an old. Yeah, and I kind of liked how they put some of the old players in it, like the Will Clark and all this kind of stuff. Him in the dugout, or not in the dugout, but in the locker room where he's holding the bat in his suit. I thought they had like, some cool like.
That was a poster for a while.
Yeah, but I liked it,
Yeah.
like as a card and stuff, and the Babe Ruths and stuff like that I got out of those. And so probably if I had my hands on, it would probably just be right now basketball. I like the 2018 stuff that I got was the Contenders and the Optics. Yeah, that card right there I thought was kind of sick. I gave it to my sister because she's a huge Will Clark fan. So, but yeah, baseball I didn't really get into too much. I don't know.
We'll have to get you. We'll have to get some over that way so you can start.
I know.
Yeah,
I got the
getting
tops.
set.
I got the tops, and I'll be excited.
That's awesome. Yeah, and no, you got a good price, so it'd be fun to watch. And guys, any final thoughts before we head out tonight? We've exceeded 2 hours again, so it's all right. It's fun. We're having a good
I
time.
just appreciate you guys let me come on and hang out with you guys. I've been watching you guys now, and I learn a lot from you. It's kind of cool just to hang out and talk cards. Like it's getting addicting, you know. So I just want to say
we appreciate the insight from somebody who's kind of, returning, but like newer returning. We've had a few of our friends like John Peon and stuff that are giving us a different perspective where, I don't want to say we're jaded, but yeah, we've been around a while and there's kind of this new versus older dynamic going on right now. People that have been in under the last 2 years, specifically brand new, never collected before. So we definitely appreciate your insight and,
thank you.
Your thoughts as well.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Steph, you good?
Yeah. Let the kids have the Pokemon.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Remember to make sure to subscribe and review our show on all platforms and do us a little thumbs up on YouTube. We love that. Check out Underdog Collectibles at UDog Collect. You can always follow us on Twitter about the cards. You can follow Brian. You can follow him at The Real Murph Dog 916 on Twitter. And it's fun. I love some of the stuff. And it's also it's great when a Kings game's going on. If you just want to watch someone,
I fled too much, man. People's timelines. Just don't follow me. I'm telling you right now. That's my alter ego. Don't follow me, dude. I'm a head case. I'm actually
I
normal
will
now.
say, I just noticed we hit 800 subscribers on YouTube. So
nice. Let's get.
Nice.
Let's do it. I love it. Thank you all. That's crazy. Follow Ben at our trading cards. Follow Steph at Joke Wax Twins. You can always follow me at Big Shep 79. Please share your hobby stories. Great pool. Send your questions our way. Keep collecting, and we'll see you all next week.